What's up guys, it's Chad here with G-Reviews, coming to you from my driveway once again today. If you're following the channel, you know that I recently got a 2020 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. Got something I'm going to install on this. I'm going to go pick it up and show you what it is, so stay tuned. Today we're out here at Leonard's Truck Accessories, Sheds and Trailers. Exclusive of WeatherTech and Lear, looks like. But as you can see, they got all sorts of good stuff. They got trailers. Just got my new goodie home. Let's open the tailgate and see what we got. Again, you saw it in the last clip. This is a Retrax box. I'm going to do a full review and install video here shortly. So let's get this box out and see how heavy it actually is. Like I said, I'm doing this by myself, so hopefully this box isn't like 500 pounds. Let's check it out. First thing right here is the two side rails. So I'm going to take these out separately. The box is quite heavy. I'm probably not going to say something you can do all by yourself, but I'm going to attempt it anyway. It is a quite large of a box, but I think I got it. First things first, we're going to get to the install, but lay all your stuff out, okay? We got the actual Retrax cover here, we got the bulkhead cover, we got the two side rails, we got the instructions, and then we got the hardware bag. So, on to the install. Step number one is to remove all the packaging and shipping materials. That includes all these stickers, this white plastic PVC tube, the bracket here, and this screw. Alright, so we're going to take the screw out. Alright, so don't discard that, keep it. Bracket comes out. Alright, well, like I said, remove this sticker. Try not to get all the sticky stuff on there. Alright, and pull this white packaging tube out. This is just in here to keep the actual product from moving around too much and scratching itself or denting. Alright, we're going to do the same thing, do that twice, do it on the other side. Step 2 is installing the side rails. Now this tonneau cover is sitting on my garage floor. Okay, obviously it's supported by some cardboard pieces. However, you have to install the side rails. The side rails, there's two screws. Okay, one's going to be right here. Okay, the tab is physically on the actual side rail panel. I don't know if you can see it moving or not. Okay, that has to line up with the little screw hole there. Okay. And then there's going to be, okay, the screw hole right here. Now that one's the one where the little tab came out of originally, and then there's the hole for that one, okay? You have to line them up. The important thing to remember is you have to get something about equal height, okay, equal height to support the rail so the screw holes will line up correctly, unless you're doing this with two people. Alright, so let's get on with that. Long story short though, you have to make sure the Retrax is unlocked, and you slide this part into the internal side rail. Alright, see this internal side rail? you slide the first 2 bearings into that side rail, and that allows you to line up that screw hole. We got one side done, let's go to the other side. Again, make sure the side rail is supported, the tonneau cover is unlocked, okay? You're going to want to make sure you line up these 2 front rollers, okay, in the rail section on the side rail, okay? You're going to want to line it up, okay? Both ways, up and down and side to side, all right? All right, you can hear it engage. All right, once it's engaged, you're gonna wanna slide the actual rail back until you can get it to match up, okay, in the actual track, okay? Once you did that, you know you're done, and then you can put the 2 final screws into the rail. One more helpful trick that I've learned, okay, when you're trying to screw this final screw in right here, okay, I recommend screwing this one in first. Once that one's screwed in, the actual rail itself is going to be nice and even like this direction, okay? Once you get this one in and you're trying to figure out why in the world you can't screw this in, it's because the actual locking mechanism is in the way. All right, you have to make sure you slide this forward, and then the screw will have no problem going in, okay? But the actual tonneau cover has a tendency while you're installing it to kind of, the spring system is going to try to pull it back, and then it'll lock right in front of that screw again, okay? So just a helpful hint. The last piece of this puzzle is going to be the front cover, okay? This is going to be going, this is pretty much the back end of it, the closest to the rear window of the truck. All right, this does not install on top. It looks like it does, but it doesn't, okay? This is going to install underneath, okay? Make sure it's underneath. You know that it's correctly installed is because this weather strip is going to be towards the back or the back window of the truck. There's 2 screw holes, 1 screw hole here, 1 screw hole here. All you do is you line up the hole in the cover with a hole on the rails and install the 2 provided screws, and then we're done with this part. Once you have everything that I've gone over so far installed, okay, you just want to do a function check on the actual cover to make sure nothing's binding up on you, okay? You want to roll it back and forward, make sure nothing is binding up, okay? And everything looks good on this one so far. All right, here's the fun part. Putting the tonneau cover in the bed of the truck. As you can see, this truck is very tall. It's up to my neck. So it recommends in the instructions to use the buddy system. I got a buddy, he's my neighbor. So, you know, I don't want to have to pay him royalties or anything, so I'm not going to say his name. So we're good on that. 2-man job. Let's go to the install. See if you make sure you can pick it up a little.
Yeah.
All right. All right, go ahead and set it down. All right. Oh boy. Well. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, it's much better.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right, it is a very snug fit, so don't fret. It just takes a little bit of shimming and wiggling left and right, and it's going to slide right down onto the frame rails. On to the next step. Once you got the unit actually put in the truck, you're going to have to make sure everything's all nice and square. The plastic pieces that originally you took out in step number 1, they purposely are made to have that little notch right here, okay? What you do with that is you make sure that this little notch will go in between the closed tailgate and the rail. So you just check both sides. If that little thing, okay, sorry about that, let me get my light. If this little thing goes in between both, you know that it's nice and square. All right, see that? It went in between this one, went in the other one, no problem. So, next step. The kit comes with 4 of these bed clamps. I got 3 sitting over here on the toolbox. Now, there's 4 distinct places you install them, okay? Closer to the rear, you have these plastic screws. The bed clamps will pretty much clamp in between there. On the back, it's a little bit different. Okay, as you can see, right here, there's no white screws. But if you go in behind, all right, if you go in behind, there actually is a little flange here that just gets closer to the actual bed rail. All right, now it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to get your tools in there, but I'm gonna walk you through it. Here you have one of the bed brackets. The orientation is pretty simple. The little rubber nub is going to be on the bottom facing towards the outside of the bed. You're going to have the wire part closer to the outside of the bed as well. And this thinner part right here is going to go between the white plastic screws on the actual rail. So you just tighten that down, hand tight, till it stays on there. And the torque specs are in the instruction manual. It's saying tighten down to 6.7 foot-pounds. I unfortunately do not have a actual torque wrench to tell exactly what that is, but I'm just going to make it decently tight. Alright, once that is in there nice and tight, you're going to tighten also this other bolt down with the rubber nub on the end until it makes contact with the outside of the bed. Keep in mind, you don't want to make it too tight. All that does is it's going to make the side rails from flexing if you do put any weight on them. So you tighten them down to where you want them, and then there's a little backing screw that you screw back onto the bracket so it doesn't move anywhere. Alright, day number 2. I kind of got a little long last night. I had a lot of extra stuff that went on with my family, so I didn't get enough time to quite finish up the install. But I got the whole bed cover on there. It functions just fine. I got the 4 clamps clamped onto the side rails. The last thing I have to do is install the drains on the bottom. So let's get that done and I'll show you the steps. Alright, included with your Retrax, you get these 2 drain tubes and they got little screw ends. So we're going to go in here, we're going to install them. Alright, here we go underneath the actual canister. You can see a hole there. And you can see a hole down here. Alright, I've already completed the one on the other side. Pretty much in the instructions it says to insert into the hole and rotate clockwise until you hear it click. So we're going to get down here and we're going to attempt it again. So I'm going to insert it. Alright, and then rotate it. Rotate clockwise. Alright, that looks nice and tight. So hopefully everything will work out. We gotta drill our holes next. In the back of my bed, this particular bed has 2 covers, okay? The bed's obviously metal and these covers are plastic. However, I got the spray and bed liner, factory spray and bed liner, so they sprayed over the actual plastic covers. Now I can go dig around in here to try to break that loose and then pop these covers off to drill them, but I'm just going to drill them in the bed so I don't avoid trying to mess up all the coating. Now I looked on the opposite side of the bed and I noticed that there's nothing behind it, so I'm safe. So I'm gonna put the hole right about here, and what I'm using is a half-inch drill bit. Okay. Now the half-inch drill bit is just slightly smaller than the actual drain tube, so it's gonna make it a nice tight fit. Alright, we'll see how that turns out. Alright, there's your finished product. I got the pipe routed through the hole, and then let me show you what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that down there. That's in between the cab and the bed. I'm probably going to cut it. Probably going to cut it somewhere. It's a little bit on the long side. Well, that concludes my demonstration on how to install this Retrax Pro XR tonneau cover on my 2020 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. If you guys have any questions about how to install it, or just any questions about the tonneau cover in general, feel free to leave your comments down below. And please like and subscribe to the channel. Bye.